All right, so we'll start then.
Yep, that sounds good.
Okay, we see Joan. Okay,
See my head, I got a new thing too. See it.
all right. So we'll get going on this. It is being recorded. Can I make a motion to start the meeting for the Scituate Board of Health for Monday, April 10th, 2023 at 6 p.m. a Zoom meeting?
I'll second and approve.
Okay, so Karen, how do you vote?
Yes.
Yes. And Kelly?
Yes.
And Doug votes yes. All right, scheduled items. Discuss and vote 355 Hadley Road. Deborah is homeowner requesting a variance to a Scituate private well regulations. So Deb, if I see that you're on, if you want to just state your name and address.
Absolutely. Deborah Reese, 355 Hatherley Road in Scituate.
Okay. And what are we looking for? I would like to request.
Oh, just to let you know that we got the abutter cards.
Okay. All right, and it looks like request of a variance for a private well located at 355 Hadley Road. The well replaced was determined by Morse Engineering in Scituate, and the water was treated by Athletic. The water results indicated that levels of sodium and iron, magnesium are outside the ranges. Our intention is use the well strictly for irrigation, for families' fruits, vegetables, garden, and not for drinking purposes. So do we have, so we got the abutters, and is there anything from Morse or anything? But he's not on, right?
Not to my knowledge. The plan was approved by Morris. I hired them to place it on the lot.
Okay, and have you got, does this need to, Joan, go to, oh God, Conservation?
Conservation already approved the plan.
Okay,
So these are the water quality tests that they have to do after the well is dug. So they're just higher. The sodium's 3.43, which is supposed to be 0.2. The manganese is 0.831, and it's supposed to be 0.04, and the iron is 2.29, and it's supposed to be 0.03.
all right. And I guess my only questions that I have, and then I'll bring it to the Karen and Kelly for any questions, is I know when we set the private well regs, we did it and that, and we've had some things. I know this isn't for drinking, but it is for irrigation for families, fruit and vegetables. Is there, I guess my question is, I know no drinking, but it's going to be, going on the fruit and vegetables that people will consume. And I know we've had issues before with that, but I think everything is all set with that. I would hope the rinsing and all that would be done accordingly to that part.
Yeah, I don't think it's an issue as far as, watering your vegetable garden with the numbers that we're talking about. It's not like arsenic is in the water or anything like that. It's items that we've given variances to before in the past.
I just have a question for the homeowner. With the well driller, did the well driller make any suggestions on your test results? Like sometimes they put filters in, or they
No,
retest,
we
or
did not. However, I do have a Culligan system in the house that I use because, our Scituate water also tends to have issues with manganese and iron. So I put in a Culligan system in my house for our drinking water. But no, he did not specifically, I didn't talk to him about it. He had just mentioned that I guess other states, it would have passed, and to file for the variance, knowing that I guess there have been other variances accepted by you folks.
Okay. Karen or Kelly, have any questions?
Nope, I have no questions.
Okay.
I don't either.
All right. That was just mine. I mean, and like I said, I know we've granted it before. I just want to make sure on that part. And there was nothing else from a Butters, Joan, or anything?
You have some people on the phone, so,
Okay.
or some people are in the Zoom. I'm not sure who they are, but you might want to ask them if they have any questions.
Is there anyone on that has a question?
Yes, this is Peter Miller. I live next door at 353 Hatherley Road,
Okay.
and I have no concerns about the well. What I have a concern about is the water. Currently, the stormwater runoff from her backyard flows down across our entire, we have a sport court, but across our entire sport court. So if we're going to add an additional water system for the fruits and vegetables which align our property line, something needs to be done because we can't handle the water we have. So now we're going to add more water to the area, and it's going to flood even more across the yard and down the street.
Okay.
Can I respond to that?
Yep.
Okay, I know that Peter's wife, Rose, has brought that to my attention before. But if you actually go and look at our property, they built up their sports court significantly higher than my land. It's a good 6 to 8 inches higher. So I mean, when it rains, obviously, when we have a heavy rain, there's going to be rain on the sports court. It's not covered, but the rain, I mean, I've been out there, we were out there together, his wife and I, when it was, looking at it, the rain is not coming over the, it's not leaching from my grass into the sports court. They built up a barrier. So I'm not sure. I don't really understand that. I mean, yes, my house, the people next to me on the left, on the right, I guess, is facing the house, the Hashigans, their lot is sloped, and so I get their runoff. I mean, so, but my lot's pretty flat, actually. So I'm not, and Peter, in terms of, there would be no additional watering above and beyond what I've already done. In terms of, fruit trees or berries or whatever, there'd be nothing above and beyond what I've already done. My reason for doing this is that I just felt, was prudent, given the fact that we have sometimes bans in the summer, and I lost a lot of vegetable, I basically lost a lot last year due to it. So I'm just trying to do the right thing yeah, it's not for the, we don't plan to water the lawn. You don't have to worry about that. I'm not installing irrigation in the lawn. It's just for the fruits and vegetables.
Yeah, like I said, I don't have any problem with the well per se for the fruits and vegetables. I just have an issue, and I have photos. I can show photos of the large pools of water in the backyard and the stormwater runoff, wherever it's coming from. It's coming across Deb's lawn into our area. So that would be my only concern, is we're adding more water now potentially.
I guess what I'm saying is I'm not adding any more water. I don't plan to water any more or any less than I have. And again, if I don't know if it's even a discussion for this meeting, but we can get someone here to look at it. Your land, your sports court is several inches higher than my land. So unless the water, we had a major flood and I had 6 to 12 inches of water, it would have to jump your curb to get into your sports court.
Like I said, I have photos and everything else. That's my only concern, is the stormwater runoff water and the pools of water that come from the backyard across our property.
Peter, I'm happy to meet with you offline if you'd like to.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I just don't know if the town needs to know about that, or there's something.
Yeah, I don't know either, but I'm happy to chat with you about that.
It sounds more like a neighbor issue.
I mean, I have water coming into my yard from my neighbor too, because again, I'm downhill from her. But in general, and we have a lot of clay in Scituate. So I know that the Fitzpatricks, I don't know if Joni's on, but we joke about it, call it like a little bit of a lake. She has had ducks floating in her yard that's totally flat because of the clay when we have a lot of rain. So, part of it, I think, is that too.
Jeff Moore, Greg Morse didn't bring anything up about this when he surveyed the area.
No, no, not at all. No, when Greg Morris, the engineer, surveyed the area, he did not bring anything at all up about this. Yeah, you're right, Tommy.
Well, and I,
Well,
and I would-
my only suggestion would be that maybe we could have Greg, my suggestion might be that you have Greg on the next call, or that we get something from him that indicates what the runoff would be, or if there would be any.
And I guess my question with conservation were the neighbors notified about the conservation meeting?
They didn't go to conservation. Conservation comes and approves the plan, the well
Okay.
plan for us. They don't have to actually go to a meeting. They
Oh, okay.
approve the,
All right.
they approve the drilling. of
Okay.
it. But this is more like an engineering type of thing, I think, and you probably might need some more information from the engineer that actually designed where the well's going to be placed.
Yeah, but
That's just my only
just-
suggestion.
Yeah, just to be clear, what I'm saying is I will not be watering any more or any less with this well. I mean, my intention is not to water the grass or to put in irrigation for the grass or anything. So, and again, Peter, I'm happy to talk to you about it, but your sports court is a good 6 to 9 inches higher than my yard. So if anything, I would think it would be running into my yard, but, and we do get a little bit of that, but I'm okay with that. I mean, I think that's just part of being a neighbor. My neighbors on the other side, I get some water from their yard as well. I think that just when we have excessive rain, that's just kind of what happens. Yeah, I mean, that seems like a different issue than a well. Do you agree, Tommy?
Well, then the
Talk loud as they can.
well, that seems to me it's a different issue than just getting the water approved. For the town's regulations as far as the chemicals and the manganese and the salt. It seems like a separate issue. Yeah, runoff than the.
Yeah, I mean, it is a separate issue. I mean, we're granting that. I think it's more too, like Peter's saying, just the good neighbor in faith and understand. And, I know you're saying that you're not gonna water more, but there will be watering done. And, if he's getting it now and you don't have the well, that's what I think his concern is.
Yeah, and again, I mean, I have watered. But once we had the ban, I'm not gonna water any more or any less than I have before the well was dug, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So, I mean, obviously I can't control the rain and everything here, but in terms of my watering, I mean, it's typically been dry. I've never watered to the point that there's been runoff. It's always just watering the plant directly at the root and that's it. I mean,
Right.
Our water bills are high. I'm trying to do the right thing and as well. I'm not watering excessively ever, I can assure you.
So I guess I look at Joan and Drew. I mean, should we get, for Peter's sake, and I don't know, I can't see if there's anyone else on besides Peter. Should we get that from Morse before we make a decision and move it to the next meeting?
I think you do have a couple other people on.
Okay. Yeah, I can't
So-
see anyone else besides Peter.
Hi, this is Joan Fitzpatrick. I'm another neighbor. I'm just listening, so I don't have anything to say at this time.
Okay,
Okay,
thank you, Joan.
yeah.
Anyone else out there?
The other
Okay.
neighbor was away and wasn't able to dial in, but she wrote a letter that I shared with Joan.
Okay,
Yeah, I shared that with the board.
okay. Karen, Kelly, what do you think? You think, I understand where it's at. Should we get more from Morse or maybe have him come on the next meeting? Just so we can cover that. And Deb, I would ask him to join us, but also give us an idea just so Peter, we're not, we're taking his consideration into it too.
Yeah, I understand, but so my understanding, the purpose of this meeting was to address the over the limit manganese, iron, sodium. So are we adding the topic of Peter's concern, you know what I'm saying, to this meeting? Or is that just something that Peter and I should address, I guess is what I'm asking.
Well, I mean, I guess that's more, I mean, yes, we can grant you that, we can grant the thing for that, but I guess the part is either it's a good neighbor and you guys work it out and you talk to him. I mean, that's my concerns is the chemicals and we can grant that, but I also don't want to, and I'm sure you don't either, want to try to work it out neighbor to neighbor.
Yeah, I mean, if Peter's open to that, I'm happy to do that. And if we could, keep this agenda to what we set it up for, that would be my preference.
And it has been the total elevation survey when Deb bought the house and started to work for different things that Greg did a total survey with elevation. So I think he would have brought that up if he had a concern. But he can certainly can be contacted because he has all the elevations.
Right. Okay.
Is that all right with you, Peter?
Well, I just, again, I brought it up, Deb addressed it, that I've brought it up to her, my wife's brought it up to her. Again, I don't have a problem, she wants to put a well in and do watering of fruits and vegetables. That's not my concern. Again, I think you guys addressed my concern, which is there's gonna be excess water. Now, granted, if it's really dry out, I don't know all the particulars and if there's going to be, a ban or not a ban or what the well, so I'm not gonna get into all that. I'm just saying, I think there's going to be excess amount of water in that area at some point in the future. And what I'd like to do is address the current stormwater runoff. I have videos, I have photos. I just think we need to address.
How do we address that?
Oh, yeah.
So
That's
that
my
won't
question as
change.
well.
That's not gonna change because of the well. If that's an issue, that's.
Exactly. No, that won't change because of the well, but how do we address the stormwater runoff? I mean, what are we looking to do?
I don't know. Is there an engineering thing? Is it a town thing? I don't.
It's private property. It's between you guys, actually.
Okay. So then
Yeah,
I'll deal with
Yeah,
it.
my
directly.
suggestion is that you really use Greg more since he was the one that originally designed where the well was gonna go. They're really the experts on this. So if the neighbors can work that out with Greg and make everybody feel a little bit, maybe the neighbors feel better if they can have Greg address the issue with the neighbors.
Separate from this variance. I mean, this is obviously totally
Yeah.
separate from this variance.
Right. The variance
Correct.
we're giving you is just the variance of being able to use that. And when it gets tested, you will have to get those results. I think it's done yearly, right, Joan?
Yes, there's some that they have to do. It's bacteria mostly that they have to, unless the board decides something else.
Right.
And then
So,
every 5 years, they do a full run.
yeah, so those things there is what we're going for, but in the good faith for both, that would be the best thing I would recommend, as everyone said, have Greg explain what it is and then, what we see. I mean, I know in mine, when it rains heavily, I get puddles all over my lawns from my neighbors running and stuff. But that's something we've just got to work out like that. And Greg knows more about these systems and, the water levels and tables and stuff like that. So that would be my recommendation to you, Deb and Peter.
Yeah, I mean, and again, I certainly, I do get some puddling, not a lot. I mean, Joni, I know you're on the line. I know you get a significant amount. We have a lot of clay in this area, but certainly I'm not going to add to that. I'm not going to water when it's raining. So it's not going to, I can't control the weather. And again, I mean, Peter, again, I'm happy to go out there and look at it, but last time I looked, you built up your sports court a good 6 to 9 inches taller than my lot. So I'm not sure. I think you're getting rain and it's running, but when it rains, everyone's getting rain on their asphalt driveways or whatever. So Again, I'm happy to look at it with you, but there is like a 6 to 9 foot difference in height, so I'm not sure. I've never had any puddling to the point that it hopped over your curb, so I'm not sure how that could be, but I'm happy to meet with you and look at that and see what we can do. But again, of course, I wouldn't be watering the plants when it's pouring out.
Right. But I would recommend they bring Greg into it too, because he has a lot of, with these dealing with, wells and septic tanks and all that, and knows the ins and outs and that. And he might know any suggestions and that. So Karen or Kelly, do you want to make a request?
To make a request.
Well, you have to,
A motion.
yeah.
Yeah, yep, I can do that. I'll make a motion, I move to grant the requested variance for the town of Scituate private well regulation water quality requirements for sodium, iron, and manganese for 355 Hatherley Road.
Okay, and Karen?
I'll second.
And Doug says yes. Karen
Yes.
and Kelly?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so that is accepted.
Thank you.
Okay. Old business, Drew?
No old business.
New
You need
business?
me to still be on the phone?
No, you can jump off, or you can stay for the meeting, whatever you'd rather.
All right, thank you, everyone. Have a good evening.
Thank
You
you.
too.
Bye
Yeah.
now. Bye-bye. Thank
You-
you.
New business?
No new business.
All right, director's report.
So we have 17 plans in 45-day review revision, 2 waiting engineering revisions, 6 waiting Concom review. We have 11 as-built that we're waiting on, and we have 24 systems in failure right now. We have started daylight savings time. We are having the mammography, the Dana-Farber van come, and it will be here tomorrow at St. Luke's, right across the street from Town Hall. It'll be there from 7:30 until 3. It's for anyone 40 and over. And we have a phone number, or they can go on to the town webpage or our webpage and get the information. The phone number is 617-632-1974. With the start of daylight savings and outside weather, we are getting ready for our tick season. We have our little tick cards that we will be giving out to all of the town workers that are outside, DPW workers, individuals like that. We're also going to be dropping them off up at the 3 golf courses that we have in town, so that their workers will be aware of, that it is tick season, and we should be checking ourselves for ticks, especially when you're outside walking. We should also be checking our pets for ticks. Check around their eyes, their nose. They stick their nose in everything that they're smelling, and they're very tough to see sometimes. So they can come in on your animal and fall off on your couch or anything else. So make sure you check your animals also for ticks. We are getting ready for mosquito season also. When we are getting ready for mosquito season and we are doing our spring cleaning, now is a good time to check to see if we need any screen repairs, if we have any areas or any items in the yard that could hold water for more than 48 hours, which gives mosquito larvae the opportunity to be created, and hence we would have mosquitoes. So it's a good time to start to mosquito-proof your home and your property. And also, we were not successful in our attempt to get a social worker from our Public Health Excellence grant. Sam Wong, who is the Director of Local Public Health, wasn't too thrilled with our idea, I'm told. which is fine. We're gonna look at what we did and reassess the language. We've gone to a couple of seminars, and hopefully we'll be putting a new proposal in, because I really think a social worker like that can, help people that have troubles filling out paperwork or, looking for resources. I just think it would be a great asset to, the Hingham, Cohasset, and Scituate area. And with that, we have town meeting tonight at 7 o'clock, which I will be attending. And that is all I have.
Okay. Other business, Board of Health meeting minutes.
We'll have
Is
them
there
at the
any-
next, we'll have them at the next meeting.
Okay. And then.
And we have no invoices.
And no invoices.
Nope.
All right, then, I'll make a motion to, adjourn the Monday meeting of the Board of Health on April 10th. I have a second.
Second,
All right, and Doug votes yes, Kelly
yes.
and Karen.
Yes.
All right, I guess that's it. Anyone have anything else? I would think we are
Thank
done.
you very much, everyone.
All right.
Thank you.
Have a
good
great
night.
day.
Bye. You
Good
too.
night.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Enjoy the weather.
Thank you.